So you guys awake. You guys have been in the Illumian bubble for a day or so. As you guys approach and you go onto the deck, the upper deck, there's a slight overcast in the air. You see the first mate Koa staring off into the distance like ahead. And she's talking, she's like looking off to the side to Captain Monroe, and they're both kind of like pointing over at something. If you guys wanted to go view it, you sure can, but if you don't, it's up to you. You have free will. What do you do?
I go and look.
All right.
I'll hobble there. What are you guys seeing over here?
Captain Monroe is he's I mean, I haven't traveled these seas in quite some time, but there's no way that we're that close yet. And Ko's like, well, no, look, if you look over there, there's an island. But I don't think that's moon rock. Too small. So if you guys, whoever's looking, roll a perception.
Okay.
You want me to roll stuff already?
Let me put on my glasses.
We need to get him some old,
We
like,
do.
Dumbledore type glasses.
Oh, lordy.
21.
21?
8. I got the wind is in my eyes.
Salt water's in our eyes.
You didn't put on your glasses.
I don't wear glasses.
Are you on the...
Nope.
No, okay. So with your 8, you're looking and you see a mass, but you're like, small island. Yeah.
Maybe I need glasses.
With a 21, you're staring and you've got those little bifocals, so you're able to like adjust them just a little bit, and it zooms and enhances just enough where you see the island move slightly under the water. Koa's looking there and she's like, what is that? You guys are approaching a bit faster, and the further you get closer to it, it seems to be shrinking. More and more of it's heading away. So the closer you're getting, the less of it you actually are seeing. You hear Koa and Captain Monroe kind of like talking to each other, like, our eyes aren't playing tricks on us, right? And then Koa's, they're sea serpents, but I don't know. That thing was huge. Just let's be cautious here. Just break. Let's just keep our heads strung. Keep our eyes on the water. We'll be fine. So you guys keep crashing towards where this mass was, not wanting to change course in fears of landing somewhere where they don't. They're en route towards the old port of Hafren. They know where it's at. They don't want to land anywhere else. The rocky shores of Illumia, there's not very many places to really port up a ship. And especially they want to keep these ships just in case they can ever return one day. So they're heading closer and they're heading closer. Paku's Fist is doing something odd. They turn their sails like full mast and they start going a little bit faster. You see them, all three of you guys are in a somewhat of a line. Paku's Fist was almost always on line with you guys, and then the Turtleback Jack is kind of nice in the corner underneath, or like behind them, just kind of taking cover in a sense. So you guys are heading forward, and Paku's Fist goes straight forward and is going super fast.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Apparently. And all of a sudden there's like a drift where the water, it's like it's being pulled under. Paku's Fist starts getting dragged towards this abyssal hole that kind of is made. It doesn't seem like it goes too deep, but it does definitely make a present suction down. Where in the distance behind Paku's Fist, a ginormous tidal wave erupts From
That makes sense.
hold on,
Oh, I thought you were telling me to shut the fuck up.
Literally.
what are they doing? They're playing games.
Gang beasts, probably.
Oh.
Because I heard Evan go, I think I won.
There's a lot of questioning of that in that game.
Okay, right.
So, as you guys are approaching and this suction of waves kind of catches Paku's fist off guard, several, about 50 to 100 feet away from Paku's fist, something breaches the water. It's huge. You guys have not seen anything like this.
How do you know?
It's...
Can you describe it?
Yeah, I'm about to. Thank you very much. This ginormous mass of tentacles and like an aura of like darkness surrounds this thing. As it stands up, it's almost squid-like in appearance, but it has not necessarily human-like features, but it's massive.
I think I've seen this film.
Yeah, it stands hundreds of feet tall. It's got tentacles coming from its face. It's got tentacles from around its sides. And it's got webbed fish-like hands. And it's got fins on it too. But like all of it, you don't see scales. You don't see fish-like appendages. You see just a black nothingness where it stands.
How big is big?
About 100 feet tall.
Okay.
Paku's fist
Way
seeing
bigger
this.
than the ship?
Yes, big time. It is dwarfing you. You are, right now, your ship
Solid.
is about 200 feet away. Paku's fist is about 50 feet away from this thing. You're looking up, and this thing is just staring down upon you guys. Legends have never told you of anything like this. As you guys are staring at it, Captain Monroe is kind of like stuck in a trance, but he goes, "All right, we're turning this way. We can still make it. We just got to outpace this thing." So he tells, you can see him signaling towards the Turtleback Jack. He's just like, full sail ahead, go. Just go straight for the line. There's no going back. We just got to go. Paku's fist, you can hear all the men, "Rah!" as you see cannonballs, boom, 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 shooting towards this thing. It takes some hits, and you hear what sounds almost like an elk, just this extremely high-pitched scream as it goes back underwater. Paku's fist, all the people on board, "Ah!" as they celebrate. Some of them you can hear just like, "No, no!" You hear like these just mouths of war. If some people are excited, some people are like, "It's not over, reload." You just hear like a concussion of screams over on that ship. You guys are making your breakaway. You're making it pretty far. You guys are full sails ahead. What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I don't know how to turn the things, but I would offer manpower
Yeah,
to help.
no worries.
unfurl
All
sails.
hands on deck. People are like, Mikey, the guy playing the accordion, was initially playing it. You see that he's just like throwing it haphazardly over his shoulder, and he's just like trying his best. Some people are like in complete shock, just staring directly at it. Mm-hmm. Where you see finally the Paku's fist, where there is that suction down, a tentacle wraps around the mast of the ship. The ship is massive, but this tentacle is wrapped entirely around it. It then takes the hole and snaps it in two, where everyone there is trying to hatch at this giant tentacle, and the ship starts going down. You can see they're in desperate measures. They're still shooting ballistas, cannons, everything's shooting at this thing, where the tentacles start to wrap it more and more and more and more until finally it's just dragged underneath the sea. As you guys are marching forward, full sails ahead, you guys are trying to cut down the pace as much as you possibly can. You have some people throwing things overboard, like just to anything to lighten the weight. right now the sea is quiet. You look around and you turn around to where this once massive warship once was. Now nothing but a couple barrels float to the top.
Whoa.
What was that? There's a lot of people are just panicked. It's a lot to take in.
That was a sea monster.
You can see, you hear
Know what it was?
A sea monster.
you can hear Blaine and a couple others just like trying to like snap people out of it, like get out of it, like snap out of it, man, slapping Mikey across the face, like it's okay. Everyone from now, they're just like, everybody get to the top. We need to figure something out. So they're moving. The Turtleback Jack is setting really good pace. As you guys continue to go forward, you actually see the crest of land. You see land. This is not a mirage. This is not a moving island. This is land.
Hopefully the creature's busy.
We're close, but you're not there yet. You guys are marching your way through. It's a chaos. It is chaos at this point. The ship is just, everyone's like freaking out. They're like, the whole ship, it's gone. How does that even happen? Can I get a perception from you guys?
No.
You can ask.
1. Yeah, you, like, for you, there's just it's all a haze. Everything's like in slow motion. You're just like, as you're like, I was on land 30 days ago, and this is my life now. What is happening?
I could have won the other way.
Yep. What did you get?
21.
21?
7.
7. So you
The
also
salt is in my eyes.
you also are kind of feeling that daze of like, what have I gotten myself into? You feel the rumbling of the ship, but how many of that's just the footsteps of the people around you? You feel a rumbling and you go, those aren't the footsteps.
I'm too smart.
As a tentacle reaches out and pierces underneath the veil and wraps around the bow of the ship. You guys are currently being kind of like dragged back. Captain Monroe, he looks at several of his men. It's got us. It's got us
Hit that
bad.
tentacle!
Yeah,
And I
so-
go to punch it.
You can punch the tentacle for sure. Put it in perspective. This tentacle is like 6 feet in diameter.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I can.
Go for it.
I'm gonna do my part.
Yeah. He
My
I'm
part.
doing my
he
part.
gets some of the mages on hand, and he's like, shatter behind the ship. It'll push us forward. That's the best that I can think of. So he's like, they're like, okay. They get 3 of their mages on board, and they just boom shatter and try to push the ship. The ship pushes about 10 feet, and then it starts to get dragged a little bit further back, where then another tentacle boom pierces through the bottom of the ship and wraps around as well. The ship starts to lift up as this creature kind of comes out of the water as well. You just kind of see this aura of darkness with water dripping from it. It kind of looks at you guys and just takes the ship and throws it. So you guys are being catapulted through the air.
Excuse me?
You have a split second.
I jump off the boat.
Okay, I was going to get to... don't worry. You guys... time's moving in, like, slow-mo. Some of the mages are, like, scattered. Some of the men, you see poor Mikey. He's trying to grab onto the side of the ship as he's, like, kind of fallen off. You see one of the half-orc who was trying to follow in his father's footsteps slides off into the deep unknown.
I find my Aarakocra friend.
You find, yep. So the Aarakocra
me.
is trying to fly. As you guys are being flown, you guys are basically passing right underneath the Turtleback Jack. You have about 50 feet, but you could jump. And that's what Monroe tells you guys to do. He runs off to the bow. The Turtleback Jack, it's about 60 feet long, 30 feet wide. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good landing. The blue Dragonborn, she goes, I have Featherfall. I can get some of us. It's like, okay, good enough.
Nico.
How far does it look like this boat's gonna be thrown?
pretty far.
Are we gonna hit
Like,
land?
will it make
No,
land?
it will not make land.
Okay. How
But-
close to land?
Probably a
Quick math.
half a mile.
Quick, man.
Okay.
Nico,
Yeah, I'm
we
just
have
gonna-
to jump.
I grab Liz and fall.
All
And I
right.
cast Feather Fall.
Okay.
You cast Featherfall on both of you guys?
I
Perfect.
try to like make it so that I'll hit the ground instead of you.
Do you jump?
I found my Aarakocra friend and I think we'd jump together.
Okay. Yeah.
My roommate.
Yeah, so the
And they were
Aarakocra,
roommates?
she grabs you. You're still like about to jump, and he casts Featherfall on you, so you become lighter. So she grabs you and like slowly drops you to the total back jack. You guys both fall and lightly land on the turtle back jack. A lot of this is happening. A lot of this is happening in like slow motion. You see Monroe, you're looking up and you see Monroe, he's falling, he lands peacefully. You see the blue dragonborn lady who helped cast Featherfall onto you guys, she gently falls. You see Blaine, he slowly falls. And you guys are
If
kind
I
of
landed-
taking it all in until finally bam, 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 bam! The bodies of the people that couldn't get Featherfall start to just slam onto the deck right next to you guys.
We fell too slowly, so I couldn't have landed and tried to catch anyone.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you see Pablo, the goblin that helped you in the beginning, his body bounces off the turtleback jack and slides into the water. A lot of your people that you've learned to like along these days, you just see lifelessly hit the deck and brush away. You guys are traveling at head speed. You still see the ship kind of casting into the sky until finally it plummets into the water, causing this extreme tidal wave to appear, which catches the brim of the turtleback jack and starts sending it catapulting into the shoreline. You guys are going at extreme speeds. A lot of you are trying to get back underneath deck because, like I said before, the turtleback jack doesn't have much of a bow. It's very slippery, so you need to get underneath. But as this is all happening, it's happening so quickly. The ship is then catapulted into the rocky shore. I need all of you guys to roll a Constitution save.
21. My first good roll of the night.
18.
17.
You needed 20 or higher. As you fall gently and land with Nico in your arms, you only have a second until, like I said, those bodies start to drop. And then you realize you're being kind of catapulted again. You turn and you look, and you're standing up trying to kind of catch your balance, where the bow of the ship smashes into the rocks of the shore, and you go flying into the sand, knocked unconscious. Same with you, Nico. You didn't even really get to stand up. You were just kind of like taking it all in, where
My back!
the ship also kind of catapults you. You smack against a rock and roll down. You were near the end of the ship, so as the ship kind of like crashes and crushes in on itself, you kind of fall off the side and land in the very, very, very shallow water. You hit your head. Your head really hurts. You are looking around as everything just seems to be spinning. You look out into the ocean. There's nothing. You don't see anything. The remnants of the Illuminia's reprieve, they're gone. The ship that you you saw the turtleback jack, you see a lot of its crew cast just about. You see some of the people that, had jumped into the water before. You see their lifeless corpses wash up onto the beach.
If I could, if they're not like dead, I'll cast Spare the Dying on as many as I can.
Okay. Yeah, so you see, as you're walking about, you see Blaine. He's face first into the sand. You go over to kind of like spare him, but as you peel his body over. He had landed face first on a rock, and it crushed his skull in.
Yeah.
Roll me an investigation. I'm not saying you're searching his body, but
15.
15. You see he has something curled up into his hand. Okay.
I don't look at it. I just pocket it.
You just look. You don't
And
look at
move
it.
on.
Okay.
Next body.
Yeah, I'll look at it later.
Yep.
But I'm...
Okay.
Body to loot.
You go over and you see Monroe. His leg got crushed by one of the wood beams of the ship, but you see he's alive. So you go over and cast Spare the Dying, and he perks up just a little bit, and you can just see that he just begins to cry, and he's just like muttering to himself like, I didn't want any of this. You go about, you see your Eladrin friend.
No, I let her know.
You see she's
You didn't even
breathing.
check if I was alive.
You see she's breathing. She seems more stable than others. Your Aarakocra friend you can't see at this point in time. The blue dragonborn, you see her. You're able to resuscitate her. Nico is in a little bad shape, so you need to use Spare the Dying on
Okay.
him. How many
He's
spells
already
of those do you have?
It's a cantrip.
Oh, so you
So
can just
unlimited.
Unlimited?
As long as she
It's
can
within
get
a
there.
minute.
Within a minute of before they die, right?
I think so.
yeah. You're able to kind of quickly go from body to body.
If they're gonna be in like too much pain,
Yeah.
just leave them.
There's a couple where you just find them, like, unfortunately with the Turtleback Jack, it was a lot of elders trying to return home. There's a lot of people that are just like in a severe pain, and you
Yeah.
just hear
Oh,
cries
what
and
the heck?
sobs.
That's Nico.
You're walking over and you're kind of viewing the viscera. You see a turtle shell, and out pops the head of Captain Ramada Cray,
Just the head.
and he's like, "Oh my God, what happened?"
I'm just here. I don't know.
Oh, and his arms and legs pop out. Oh God. Oh, I'm gonna.
And also, I'd like to say if there's anybody that looks vaguely familiar to me, I let them die.
Okay, yeah. There isn't. You do.
From your past. I was like, that's cruel.
The only
Crazy.
people that you see that seem.
Like, don't be her acquaintance. She'll let you die.
Not like that, but like anybody
Yeah.
that...
Yeah.
No, for sure. You don't see anybody that reminds. You do see. You see broken chains at like or a little bit further onto the shoreline, and you just see footprints that just head in a different direction. Yeah, you only. You don't see much. Further on, you do see your Aarakocra friend in some of the rocks. Not dead, just very faintly breathing. It has been a minute, so anyone else that you'd want to find, you wouldn't be able to completely save. Her wings are just crushed and mangled. Okay. It's gonna be okay. At this point, you guys start coming to. Your head hurts. And you see on the horizon, you guys hear the clopping of feet. Horse hooves. As they're coming down the rocky shoreline. That's when we can get these guys.
They're horses? What?
They are
They're centaurs.
horses.
Oh, I didn't see you, Jorge.
George said, why'd you step on me?
Oh boy.
Where's your white paw, George? You having fun?
Are you having fun?
Well, besides the whole going unconscious shipwreck, you know, that's a little rough.
They actually said they didn't want to come down.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget.
Yeah, I went up there to get them and they were
Oh,
gone.
yeah.
Actually, I'm moving. Yeah, Matt's going home. So
This is the
Am I still in home?
last one.
Yeah.
Boop.
Magical moment.
Hey! Now you guys are there.
Hi.
Okay.
You guys.
Hello. It's me.
That's what you guys look like.
Yep.
All
Do you
right.
remember me from 5 hours ago?
It was pretty long ago.
It's okay.
It was like 5 hours ago.
All
What
right.
do you get for going first?
It's true.
So, as you guys laying on the shoreline,
Sipping on Mai Tai.
the debris of the ship, as well as bodies, start to kind of roll in. You start hearing the sounds of clopping footsteps. You guys are getting a first view on why they were yelling for they needed clerics. You see a shipwreck. Pretty nasty one at that. Most of the ship is just crashed and destroyed into the side of the rocks. You see the bodies of many just kind of laying across the shoreline, some in the shallows floating. But you do see a couple people, a handful, licking their wounds and trying their best to see how many others are alive. You see an older turtle. He's looking around a lot of the bodies that presumably you guys wouldn't have known this, but you guys probably seeing this, they were under the ship. They were in the bow of the ship. So when it got crushed, all these people were kind of just in one spot. So there's just kind of a heaping mess of just bodies protruded on the shore. So you see the turtle. He's kind of looking through that, and he's just shaking his head. You see a human man in nice armor. It's white and gold, and he had really nice. Well, he still does. He has nice blonde hair, but at this point, it's very messy. He's laying up against a rock on the shoreline, with one of his legs just crushed by the mass of the ship. He seems alive, and two, like he's talking to somebody, but definitely not looking the best. You bring your Aarakocra friend. You see an Aarakocra, wings completely just mangled. Looks like a loon with black feathers and small white sprinkles going down her head and back. You see her legs busted. Her wings are... It's kind of sad to even call them wings. You see the body of a human male flopped back face up next to a rock that's just covered in blood, and his face seemingly crushed in by it. There's a lot to kind of take in. But you see a man named... sorry.
I see a man.
Glendale.
Sorry.
You
Did he say
see...
his name?
No. You see, you guys rode in with a man named Glendale Marindale. He is like the mayor, so-and-so of
He was the one
Halfren.
asking for clerics?
No, but one of his men was helping him. So
Gotcha.
when you guys ran outside, you met up with him and 4 other horsemen and started riding. It was a very short trek, half a mile, if that. Yeah, he's... Do we have the wounded? Where are the wounded?
Are we the wounded?
If you're on the ship,
Where am I?
you're with him. Because when he called for, I need a cleric.
Okay.
Me.
Last time I dropped off, I was in a bar, so I'm like,
Sorry.
Fuck.
That,
What's going on?
That was when they said, hey, we need a cleric.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
rode with them.
Yeah.
You were in the bar car of the ship that exploded.
Gotcha.
So yeah, everyone's kind of rushing over, looking at the bodies. Some of them checking the pulses. Dead. They're moving some of the bodies over. You see clerics of road. You guys would know who these people are. They're wearing like a sea foam cloak with like golden etches. They have these symbols that look like the front of a ship, so it's like basically a triangle with a T on top of it. You see them trying their best to. Some of them come over and try to take the water out of people's lungs. Some of them are using this water-like magic to heal.
Would I have been there for a little bit, like helping at all, or did I?
This
arrive?
just happened.
I just
We
arrived.
just arrived.
Okay,
Today.
gotcha.
Yes.
Koa?
Koa? Oh, yes. You see, so Koa was missing at that point in time. However, you see, just breaching from the water, you see
Mermaid
Koa come out with her trident, and she's like, oh my god. And she just kind of throws up like seaweed. It's like she just like, anything that she had accidentally inhaled down there, she's just throwing up. As she like walks up the shoreline and looks at like everybody, she's like, well, we made it, I guess. Yeah. Is there a cleric around? And she like kind of grabs her head, and you can see that she's bleeding. There's a lot of the bodies are just, they're at this point they're just taking them and setting them in separate piles. There's the dead. Stop it.
Bless.
There's the dead that they're stacking on piles. There's the ones that they're trying to keep alive. The ones that they're trying to keep alive, they, take over to a small cart that they had attached to the horses, and they're going to rush them back to Halferin.
Would there be a guy? Is Mr. Dale? Is he the one that's like in charge right now? Like who's delegating? Like who's
Right now it's him. Yeah, it's
Okay, gotcha.
Marindale. Glendale Marindale.
I'll like walk up to him like completely starstruck and like where do you need me? Well,
I go check in with the passengers that seem to be up and about. I'll take care of the dying.
okay.
You know how to heal, boy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go tend to their wounds.
He turns to the ocean that he's seeing for the first time. He's like, and then he looks at all like the people and it's just like,
The mangled body parts.
right, yeah.
I think I am not waiting for Glendale, Marydale, Glendale.
Double down.
It's Glendale Marydale.
Glendale.
Dale.
It is
Glendale,
Dale.
Marydale. I don't think I'm waiting for his like permission or anything. I think I'm heading down and I'm trying to like pull people out of like if there's wreckage or people who are like washing up on the shore. I think I'm just like down there extending a hand to whoever needs it.
You don't find many that are even remotely clinging to life. You do see a lizard folk that was that must have been underneath the ship in the bow, or in the brig. I'm sorry. They seem to be somewhat with it. They're basically, you're moving around. Excuse me. You're moving around a bunch of corpses just to see somebody that's looking up at you.
Yeah. I'm going to do whatever I need to try and get this one person who is obviously alive
Yeah.
out and to the shore where they can get hope.
As the other clerics are starting to just, like I said, pile up most of the bodies, you hear one of them, they go, oh, they got coffee beans. Heck yeah. And you see them like bringing it, like it's odd where there's like, obviously there's the like sorrowness. There's also some that are just like
Looting.
It's there's some things from the outside world that people haven't seen in 10 years.
Sure.
So a lot of the people that like Glendale brought in, they're genuinely helping. A lot of the townsfolk have just started sprinting down here, kind of just pillaging, just taking whatever washes in.
That's what type of town this is. Gotcha.
You don't have coffee beans?
I would walk over to the survivors and I'd be like, does anybody need a hand at all? Oh,
Well,
these
what
are
do you
survivors.
what do you see?
Dead.
Does anybody
wanna-
need a hand?
You see an old man. Think Santa Claus, but skinny and an elf.
With a mustache.
Yep. Wearing a blue robe. And he's laying there. Oh, my back. My back.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just old. I'm not dead.
Oh, okay. Do you need attention, medical attention?
Yes, all of it.
Okay.
I'm a full coat.
What else do I see with my eyes?
You see a couple yards away. I'm not sure if you've ever encountered an eladrin.
He would have.
An
No,
Aladdin.
no, I don't think you would have.
No, I would not.
It's not that they're
You-
super rare. You're
Oh,
just not out much.
baby, and
See
I-
a young woman sitting up, just kind of clutching her head. She looks elven to you, but it's odd because her skin tone, it's like a orangey golden, but she has like the long pointed ears, a mess of like auburn curls, and she's just sitting like this.
And then helping the Aarakocra walk, pale elf, half elf, long black hair that's all like tangled. You can tell she's like not too thrilled about that. And she wears like nice leather armor, and like she's got like fancy clothes on under her armor.
Up to you. You see, just a young man, half elf, normal looking, just
Run of the
Yeah.
mill.
human male one, not human, half
Color
elf.
hair, color eyes.
Brown hair, brown eyes, unremarkable, strong jaw.
Okay.
Chisel.
But
Don't you have a slight tinge to you?
A lisp.
maybe. Yeah, maybe I've got a slight tinge. Maybe I've got like a greenish.
Just a little slight greenish
Maybe
hue
just
to
a
you.
little greenish hue to my,
Okay,
but like just
okay.
like really like weirdly.
But other than that,
featured.
half elf one.
Yeah. Other than that,
You're
half
getting
elf one.
scurvy.
And he's a little short.
He will approach the old man because that's
Some
not what he knows
jaundice.
how to deal with. And he goes,
what I was
"Yes,
thinking.
I'll help you." And he'll do his little healing touch or whatever the fuck spell I have. I don't fucking know.
You don't know.
I fucking don't know. I do cure wounds on you bears. No, actually, that's too much. I'll give you healing word.
Oh, why thank you.
No problem. We need to get you out of here. I think. What is this ship? What happened? Tell me what happened, please.
Sea monster. Simple voyage to Illumia, and then giant sea monster comes.
Oh, I'm sure that did happen. Excuse me. And he waves over to you. Could you help us out, please?
She kind of looks at you like she can't hear you for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
Sea monster.
He
And
doesn't
then
believe you.
really, really loud. Are you talking to me?
Yes. Are you
I
alright?
I can't hear you. My head hurts really bad.
Okay. Do you need help? Medical attention? Okay. Well, God damn it. I don't know if I'm qualified to help.
You see her like holding her head.
He will do the same. He will healing word upon thee, just to see if that helps.
Was I able to get that lizard folk out? Mm-hmm. I think, are they heavily injured, or they're wounded, or they're just like...
It's kind of odd. Like, they seem to had people fall on them instead of wood. So they're not as crushed as, like, everybody else was.
Are you okay, friend?
I think so. God.
I'd like to scan the beach for the nearest healer. 4.
4. Well, luckily to you, well, first you look the wrong way and you go, "Where is everybody?" And then you look the right way and you go, "Oh, there they are." And you're able to be like, "Okay, there's some of the clerics. They're not too far off."
We'll get you looked at, friend.
Thanks. Some voyage, huh?
I'm sure it was. Welcome to Lumia. And I walk him over to the cleric.
My boy, is this Illumia?
Oh yes, it is.
It's changed so much since I've been here.
I've never been here before either. Well,
You're here now.
here to the city. Yes. Should we get away from the water if there was a monster?
Glendale's, he looks and he goes, "No, it won't get to the shallows."
Was there actually?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? I just told you.
It's been attacking our fishing ships for a long while, but if you stay in the shallows, doesn't come up here.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Can you help my friend? I say as I walk up
Um,
with the Aarakocra.
Yes. I can try. No, I can't do that looks like it hurts.
Make it hurt less.
Her
Okay,
wings
yes,
are like
I got it.
broken windshield wipers.
I mean, he'll just like do everything he can.
Oh god, I'm in so much
He'll
pain.
he'll do everything he can to treat it, but you can tell he's very like
Re-breaking
inexperienced.
the wings back.
Practically treating things. He's very inexperienced.
I mean, you use lay on hands on her, and it does bring a lot of like the open cuts start to, close up, but like her wings are still just
Those
a
are
mess.
snapped, yeah.
They're just a mess.
You might as well amputate them.
Maybe. A
You
severe concussion is slightly better. I can, right my vision. I see Nico. I rush over. Are you okay?
I don't know. For some reason, it feels like I can walk better.
Oh,
The accident must have fixed my back.
that's odd.
Sir, does this happen often?
Knowing that people aren't stupid enough to come to Illumia hasn't had a problem in about 7 years. We're gonna have to talk.
Oh, so this does not happen often.
No.
Would my character be smart enough to understand that people don't come on ships to Illumia often? He's imagining a port city. I'm imagining a port city. I'm
It's
like,
a
yeah, this
port.
happens all the time.
It's a port city, but you know that Illumia's been on lockdown for like 10 years. People have not been able to leave for 10 years, and people have stopped coming for like 5-ish years. They
So
just
I would
stopped.
know
for
that.
5
yeah.
I would
years?
know that. Gotcha.
Ooh, no wonder this place sucks.
They look over at Captain Monroe, and some of the clerics are like lifting the board off of his leg, which the kneecap is basically flat. So they just kind of pick him up and they gesture him over towards the wagon. He gets in. They get everybody that they can from the wreckage. You guys hear just a little as an accordion comes washing ashore.
No.
Well, welcome to Hafren. It's just down this way. They start leading you guys towards the inn. The injured, get them to the clerics at the temple. They'll be in good hands. If you guys can walk, you're coming with us. Yes?
Well, I'm assuming we weren't able to grab our bags before the shipwrecked. Can I look for my belongings? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Rummage before everybody else pillagers
Yeah.
that shit.
I see village people going through, and I'm like,
That's a good point.
ooh,
These village
natural
people,
20.
because I've never been to Hafren before. These village people who are like scavenging, are they like skinny, malnourished? Like finally,
No, it's not.
meat.
It's not necessarily that. Like, a lot of them look well fed because they eat so much fish.
Gotcha.
It's more or less that it's like going and having like a bunch of exotic stuff just thrown on your shoreline.
I see.
It's more or less like,
People who've been locked down for so long.
yeah, I mean, they've had everything
COVID
that's in
toilet
Illumia. They have everything that's in Hafren, but like, there's a chance that they might be able to see some like chocolate from Almaral,
I was gonna
or
say Cuba embargo.
yeah, you can get your hands on something, and that's what they did with the coffee. They're like, oh shit, we haven't had like actual coffee in years, so they find these like coffee beans.
This lockdown that I would know about,
Yes.
is that due to the creatures of the water?
No.
That's due to the government? It's due to
as-
Illumia being shit right now?
As
A lot of
somebody
factors.
where you were, you don't know the full reason. You've heard that there's this bubble, and it's like a full-blown like something is keeping it. They don't know. A lot of people speculate that it's the High King, that he somehow manifested this giant
around
bubble
Illumia,
around Illumia,
keeping nobody in or out.
keeping nobody out. People can come in, but they can't leave.
Oh, okay. And I would know that that's a thing.
Pseudo. I mean, with you, like I said, with you being isolated, you kind of didn't learn too much of this stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
So a lot of this you might piece together
So
as
it is a
things.
mystery.
It's
Got it.
still mystery.
It's a mystery
yes.
to Evan. I wanted to make sure it wasn't a mystery for my character.
Yes, yes. So yeah, they start boarding up. They have small carts with people sitting up in them. Monroe, the Blue Dragonborn, several people. You guys, out of everybody, it seems like the Featherfall actually kind of helped a lot. Not just the fall, but when you guys crashed, you didn't hit as hard.
You're
But
welcome.
the cart of the dead is much larger. They're packing bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies. You guys are kind of led towards back where you guys are familiar, the Sandman's Sleep, where Glendale is. Now listen, I'm all for conversations here. I need to get down to the bottom of why is there ships heading towards Illumia.
Are we all together now?
Yeah.
Did I get
Are they
my
turning
pack?
the Sandman into like they're like helping people? Like,
Yes,
Forward
they
operating
very
base.
much turned it into like a there's like stretchers where people can like lay people in.
Gotcha.
They've like put bedrolls down.
Sure.
Yes, you were able to find your pack. You do see
Natural
2 people kind of fighting over it.
Excuse me, that's my belongings.
What?
That's my belongings.
The ocean gave it to us.
Give it to me.
I think I'll walk from behind.
Prove it.
I think I'll walk over behind one of the squabbling people and I'll just put a firm hand on his shoulder and be like,
Okay.
things are hard enough already. Let her have her things.
Okay. Sorry.
So,
Ooh, what's that? And he goes immediately and just like looks.
Grabs the accordion.
Yeah, there is somebody on the like
Fucking
very
the ocean
poorly
gave it to
playing the accordion. Water's like pouring out of it. They're like, they're like, wow, this thing's cool.
That was Dev's.
I pick up the bag and I motion to hand it to you. Forgive my countrymen, madam.
You're forgiven. They weren't your actions. And I tear it open. Check my belongings.
Waterlogged, but
Wet.
most of them are
I
there.
think to me, oh shit, she's probably stealing the notes.
No, I just... There's things that weren't meant to go in the water in here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go
Are
back
you-
to the inn.
Yes, are you all right?
I think so.
Might I ask what happened?
A sea monster. We had a
Did
large...
you get a look at it?
Kind of. It was... There was a lot happening. There was tentacles and... It sounded like an elk screaming.
I see. Thank you. You should head to the Sandman, I believe is where the tending to the wounded and survivors.
Yes, and I look for Nico. Help you onto the wagon. You shouldn't walk. It'll take us all day if he walks.
May I help you,
I'm
sir?
not as spry as I once was.
I think when you're walking up to like get into the cabin, you see a mage hand kind of appear in front of you to like offer a hand to you.
Thank you, young man. Talking to the hand.
Did you describe what we saw when you...
No.
Oh, okay. What do I see?
You see a older elvish gentleman, got very like you're barely seeing the pepper and the salt and pepper hair, beard, coifred goatee and everything. It's got short, buzzed, almost like a military style cut on the sides, but you can tell that the top is a little longer. Yeah, very similar. Has a pretty big cloak on right now that is just kind of draped over his shoulders. And when he reached out, he was handing you the bag with his arm. One thing that I think stands out, which may or may not be interesting for you guys, is I have black sclera and almost faintly glowing like golden eyes.
Would I know of any elves that have this feature?
When you live a long time, you see a lot of things.
Roll a history.
Ooh, I will roll 1, 2.
Just want to see if it's weird.
I knew you're great.
Natural 20 for 22.
Light
That's
elves.
two nat 20s for me.
Light elves.
Light elves.
I
Native-
also got a natural 20.
Jesus Christ, you both did.
Light
did.
elves.
What do we get?
They the markings, the everything that you're seeing, light elves. They're native to Illumia. Very rare at this point. You actually know that drow are like basically light elves, just cursed fact. So the uncursed, like pure light elves are extremely rare.
Ah, it's one of your kind.
Nico, that's
What?
kind of rude.
It's quite all right.
That's how we've always said it.
One of your
It's
kind?
an honor. You never meet one of his kind often.
A light elf?
Yes.
I love the racist.
Is it? It's rare here.
It is a pleasure to meet both of you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Liz.
Don't mind her. She's never been.
Which hand do you reach out with?
Right.
Your right hand? You'll see the mage hand help him disappear and then grab your hand. And it's my other hand goes
we're
beneath
there.
the cloak. Dundarian, pleasure.
Nice to meet you. This is Nico.
Nico Giovanni.
How old are you?
Like 65. So like 650.
Yeah, we're roughly the same age.
You just carry it differently.
Yeah.
I play up my old man.
Yeah. Hey, it works. You get a wagon ride out of it.
Liz, Nico, my name is Dundarian. It's a pleasure to meet you both.
They don't make them like they used to anymore.
What does that mean?
I don't know half of what he's talking about.
Please,
No, like, is that a dialect?
please let us attend to the others.
So back at the Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
I said my name yet? You told me not to use my name.
No, you can use your name.
Oh, okay. So I haven't introduced you yet, but Johannes, he has fully like snapped out of his haze and is just working with Dale. Like, asking, sir. He's like reporting on like, all right, like these are like wounded, but they're doing okay. And then he's like got a game plan and he's like running back and forth and he watches all of you guys walk in and he'll go tend to you. He's like, anything immediately I can get you, bandages, water, anything I can get for you.
A glass of water would
Of
be
course,
nice.
absolutely. I'll be right back, and I'll go fetch it for you, and I'll bring it to you. So here you are.
Oh, thank you.
If you need, there are some surplus medical supplies over here. If not, feel free to take a table where you can find an open seat. Let me know if you need anything. My name's Johannes.
Were you with us, with the three of us?
She
Do you
stands
ride in the
about-
wagon?
Yeah, I'd probably
With
ride in
the-
the wagon, but I
Wherever-
not.
Not like in the
She's
conversation.
about 10 feet away.
Just
And just
menacingly.
Okay. I think because you two are the only two that have introduced yourselves. I was here earlier before your ship landed. Please join me at my table.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Also, when Johannes speaks, you can tell that he's got two little snaggle teeth down here.
The vampire.
That look that no
Aw,
lower,
his parents
I'm
couldn't
kidding.
afford braces.
lower ones,
Watch out.
and
he
they're
might
like
bite
really
you.
dull down there too.
Sure.
Put my tunic
I
up.
remembered who he was.
He remembered everything.
Yeah.
He went standard, but actually not
I
anymore.
was like standard, but like that's not at all what the character.
He was like,
Um,
and slightly green.
yeah.
Huh?
Halfling, half elf one, but also.
Not.
And kind of short a little bit.
No, he's like 5'7".
Oh, I was like 5? That's pretty short.
Sabrina Carpenter size. Pocket size.
So you all kind of sit around at the table. Are
should
you
go
still
for
running around
coffee.
getting medical supplies,
is-
or are you?
He is like treating Dale like a very important man. Like he is going up to Dale like anything you need. Like let me know what I need to be doing. Here.
At,
You rub your feet.
at a certain point, like after 20 minutes of just
look at
everyone
me.
kind of settling and you running back and forth, he's just gonna put his hand on his shoulders, like, "Son, you have done plenty enough. At this point, I think people just need rest."
Okay, where can I find you? I would like to make a report after today.
I'll be here or somewhere in town. It's a small town. You'll find me,
Okay, thank you.
of course.
It's Glendale, Jaledale?
Glendale, Marydale.
Glendale, Marydale. Gotcha.
Um,
Mr. Marydale.
Glen.
so-
thank
Just
you.
call him Dale. Dale.
Dale. Give me Dale.
As you were running back and forth, you noticed you kept kind of remembering your little fox or your little wolf in the corner, which is kind of like watching you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Yeah. Do you go report to them? Or are you when he tells you to take a break? Where do you?
Oh, I'm immediately going over to what was your name again?
Nico.
I'm going over to Nico and be like, Nico,
Oh,
doing
yes.
doing okay.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
Yes, no problem at all.
You're
How do you do?
quite fine. Please join us. You've been doing some good work and share a drink with us.
Thank you.
I'll motion to the bartender for. I assume I would have already gotten them drinks, but a third cup.
She's gonna go. Okay, a drink for you, madam.
Coffee?
Okay, coffee. Another coffee for you,
Yes, please. Thank you.
and then wine,
Dealer's
ale.
choice.
Okay.
Surprise me. At my
And
old
for
age,
you,
it's
you've been
not
working hard. It's all in the house tonight. What would you like?
Just water, please. Thank
Okay. She runs over and she She makes coffee. As you know, it wasn't coffee. It's acorn coffee. So she pours you that. So it's non-caffeinated. Sorry, but she runs back over and coffee for you and wine for the madams.
I sit down, just uninvited. Just I sit down.
Hi.
You
made it.
Yes.
A friend,
I did.
a friend of yours.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Have I ever seen an Eric
I-
before?
I'm not an Aarakocra.
Have I gotten your name since we were on a ship
No.
together?
No. She hasn't told
We
anybody
just
her
know
name.
her as the lady that stays an arm length
You know
away.
what? Listen, I'm not gonna push her. She has boundaries. She'll tell me when she's ready. Coffee?
No, thank you.
A friend of yours, I assume you were on the ship?
Yes. She's got like a bruise and like all of the makeup that was remaining on her
They
face
might-
is just like kind
they
of like
might
all
have
over.
it.
And she's just like sitting.
Are you all right?
Do you have blood?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I
Are
look.
you-
What do you mean by that?
What does that mean?
You see me just chuckle.
No.
You don't drink blood.
Where did you get that idea?
I make a point and I'm sorry, it was a joke. So funny.
outside of
I take a sip of my coffee, immediately spit it back into the cup.
I'm sorry, may I ask? I'm sorry. Are you from outside of Illumia?
Yes.
Why did you come here?
Not for the coffee.
Well, we don't have very much. Sure, you realize people looting and pillaging coffee.
Yes, it was
No.
very different from the last time I was here.
What? Why did you come?
I'm on vacation.
When was the last time you were here?
Oh, I'd say about 100 years ago.
Jawwick's reign.
You've been here for quite a while, I assume.
Yes, I
You
have.
know Lambros.
Do I know Lampros?
You're from Necrota. Yes. You've heard of him.
I've
You
heard the
haven't
name.
met
I
him?
haven't personally met him, but I've heard the name.
A colleague of mine, that's why I'm actually here.
What do I know of the current state of Necrota? Has it changed drastically in this time frame?
So there was a large facility in Necrota that had kind of taken over and had
Yeah.
almost became like a manufacturing hub using basically slave work.
Yep.
However, with the fall and crumble of that, Necrota has turned more into a more... They had to go a little bit of a different route with that factory
Mad Max.
blowing up. They actually, it's been great for the civilians. They've
Yeah.
been it's been prosperous. It's kind of turned more into like mom and
The
pop
roommate
stores.
situation is much better.
Yeah, it turned more into mom and pop stores than like one big mega corporation. So people
For
have
sure.
still taken their times and the things that they've learned, whether that was textiles or whatever it may be, and taking that knowledge and doing it themselves.
And this
or
is
making-
what my character would know about it
and this
as
is
well?
what you know. This
Gotcha.
happened all like 7 years back.
You said good for the civilians. Are we talking about civilians? Like the people of Seville?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure. Because earlier there was the civilian forest, and I was like, what are they doing there? Just,
I kept saying it wrong. It's Selvia,
Selvian.
but
Tell me.
it's
Selvian.
Selvian.
Friend,
You said civilian, I
you're
was like,
I know. I said it and I was like,
Lampros.
oh
welcome to
god,
the forest.
which
Do you
doesn't,
remember
which
if
does
he
not
was
help out when you're trying to
engaged
remember all
with the
these names.
factory and the work there.
He's great. He was the one that was building all the automatons. And you see me, I'm
Yeah.
also building automatons. I pull out a book and I start going over blueprints and different formulas.
While you're
Like
going
this guy.
while you're going through the book, I'll just kind of like slowly like reach my hand to just touch the pages as you're flipping through them and go, I'm sorry to say, but the factory has been destroyed. Things are quite different there now.
What about Ambrose?
I have not heard. I've not been that way many years.
I'm sure he's fine. He's very resilient.
I hope so. Good friends are hard to come by these days.
All the best. I write him letters, and I wait, and then he'll give me answers, and it's amazing.
Tell me, the three of you were travel companions? You
So
said you were on
sweet.
vacation.
Yeah, yep. I
Yes.
just had to leave the city.
Liz here is my best friend, And then
What might your name be, madam?
Me?
Yep.
I lean in. It's been 30 days and I haven't gotten her name.
Um,
I forget to ask.
I didn't want to.
people around me tend to call me Mrs. LaFontaine.
Mrs. LaFontaine.
Is that your preferred name?
Amongst people I'm not sure of.
We may
It's
call
a
her
miss.
Miss LaFontaine.
Oh.
It is a pleasure
This is
to
a
meet
little
you.
hurt by that. It's been 30 days.
Welcome to Illumia.
You didn't ask.
Boundaries. She was gonna ask me when she was ready.
You asked me my name.
What is your name?
Well, because you
madam?
told me right away.
Johannes Lysander.
I introduced myself. She didn't
Pleasure
tell
to
me her
meet
name.
you, Johannes. I am Dundarian.
Dendarian. Good to meet you.
Now, you have the look of somebody from Illumia as well. I too share in his curiosity. What brings you this way? Is there no news of the happenings of Illumia in the outside world?
Well, I mean, I haven't been outside in like 30 years, so.
That makes sense.
Chunky would like this guy.
I come from a village with no roads.
No windows.
We have sent many, many ships initially. And then there was a ban. This was the last volunteer voyage. We all volunteered to come to Illumia for our own personal reasons, because some people are looking for their loved ones. Some are vacationing. I am
Answers,
looking
I
for my
feel.
mother.
A tabaxi with a yellow stripe, black tabaxi comes in. Glad to see you guys are okay. A lot of people are looking for answers, my friend.
Who might you be, friend?
Kashin, it's nice to meet you.
Sheen, were you on the ship with these three?
I was. Luckily, a cat always lands on his feet, and I was able to get away almost unscathed. Thanks to a little. And he like opens up basically a magic door opens behind him.
And he
Welcome
didn't
to
save
Illumia.
anyone else.
That bad.
He was far away from people.
Welcome to Illumia.
Yeah.
Was it your ship?
No, Monroe,
Scared
some
the crushed leg.
arrogant bastard.
The lizard folk?
No.
No.
Who?
It was the
lizard
human.
folk was a
It was the
nobody.
human with the nice.
Sorry, I saved somebody not important. Let's forget he ever existed.
I feel everybody is important that we save.
Not that guy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's me.
There were so many lives lost.
They knew that.
It must have been important to get here, but Illumia's lost its luster recently. I can't believe people would come here for pleasure.
I didn't even know it lost its luster.
If people are seeking information, I can understand that at least.
My mother's been missing for a decade. We haven't had any correspondence from Illumia.
Who's your mother?
Did she just forget Dragonfly?
You look. She actually looks confused as to what she wants to say to you.
It's like, I don't know my mom. That's quite all right. Your business is your own if you prefer to keep it that way.
She might go. Her name's Amiria.
She's
She's an Eladrin like me. She's aligned to the seasons.
a merchant, a diplomat.
How many people are around us?
Well, the tabaxi and
6.
everybody else.
All
Yeah.
us, yeah. 6 including you. Your business is your own. Should you choose to keep it private,
Yes, if
you
you
would be
see
wise.
an Eladrin woman who looks like me, let me know.
Of course. Of course. Eladrin
Can I insight check that with my background?
Yes.
are quite rare. I feel if I would have come across one, I would have
No,
remembered.
18.
We have the same eyes.
So with your background check.
Your
clicked
background
off-
check?
Or insight check.
Your social checked out.
Yeah. My Kara's reaction is similar to Liz.
You clock something, which I will
Okay.
tell you
Later.
later.
Please, I do not mean to pry. I just mean I'm curious to reasons. As Johannes has said, we don't have many travelers these parts,
And
given the state of
I
things.
am dying to know what is happening in Illumia. Why
Oh.
can people come and not go?
Let me ask you this: what is the last bit of information that you have heard of Lumia?
There's been radio silence for a decade.
The bubble came down.
We sent many scouts. We've seen the bubble, we call it. But it's more a sphere, some magical sphere.
Last time I was in Illumia, there was no magic bubble.
Yes, it hasn't always been here. Well, if we'll need more drinks, I'll motion to the bartender. Sorry, my cell phone is going off. I need to take this. I call for more drinks, get around, I'll pay for the drinks as needed, and then I will miraculously, through perfect mimicry, I will give them an update of everything that's happened since the bubble has gone down. Everything that my character would be aware of.
Okay.
It's just going to sound like Michael talking, but really it's me.
Yeah. Can you give
I
us
want to
a
make
brief?
sure that he knows.
What does your voice sound like?
My name sounds like this.
It is.
Tired.
Sounds like this. Okay, so I'm Dundarian now. Yeah, since the fall of Brodnik, there was an attack in the Riven area. Seems like the whole country's gone to chaos. Drexus, he's supposed to be our king, supposed to be our protector. He's been taking pot shots at towns here and there.
Johannes, once he hears Drexus, he spits.
We share that opinion.
He, I don't know, makes this city, this whole nation, feel like it's a prison. People haven't been able to leave. Marriott Merdale told me that creature in the water showed up a couple years back. They haven't really been able to go into the depths. We can't reach out to anybody else. We're just trapped. It's been... The crops are dying.
Where
plague.
is this Drexus? Where does he
King
reside?
Drexus.
King Drexus.
At the palace.
If I,
The new Tolmec.
if I knew,
You don't
I'd
have a
tell you.
capital.
He is not exactly a popular figure amongst most people. He rules with an iron fist. And those who speak out against him, or even speak fondly of our past king, tend to disappear. I would be very careful, and I look at the four of you, whom you would share this information with. This is public if you're from here, but I'm sure that Drexus would not want ill words floating about.
yeah, you hear, you're talking relatively quiet, but with the bar or the inn kind of being turned into like a
Yeah, it's
medical
loud.
tent, it's
Yeah.
a lot quieter. A dwarf was kind of just walking by, just with some drinks, and you say Drexus, even as quiet as you do, and he's just like, "Fuck him and fuck his ox."
Fuck his ox?
The soldiers he employs, they known as the Ox Clan.
Ah,
There was a time
not what I was thinking.
under Jawwick's rule, Illumia shone bright. And now the only light to be found is the light we find within ourselves.
May he rest in peace, King Jawwick.
Glory on his name.
Hear ye.
Ah, yes. I remember him.
So there's no capital.
There's a capital.
There's been capitals
The capital is moved many
right
times.
now. So, history lesson. There was a main capital, but with the with Drexus kind of taking over, it became like basically there was a split. So there's a moving of the single capital, and each district kind of took power of itself. So Drexus is overwatching the entire continent, is in kind of controls in everyone's pockets, can kind of bully people around, but each district has kind of separated themselves. So you have the Riven district,
9.
where Henya is the capital of that. You have Tothgar, this capital.
So there's a capital per state. It's literally just states and capitals. And
Basically.
There's no Washington, D.C.
There's
Trump, but Trump just is in a big jet in the sky.
there's a military force
Yeah.
dawning upon everybody as everyone else is trying to keep their own peace.
They're
And
I
Drex's
would
location is
unknown.
Ambiguous.
Unknown.
okay.
Intentionally so.
Yeah. He does so for protection of himself. He is very paranoid
If
individual.
my father knew
How
where
does
he
he-
was, he'd be dead.
How does he rule without being present?
A delegate.
He rules with an iron fist. He is the head of a vast military force. His generals carry out his will throughout the districts. They meet with him. He relays his orders.
There's no council,
Council.
no court holdings.
The people don't have a voice anymore.
Not for a long time.
It's horrible.
Yes.
Welcome to Illumnia.
You see, she looks distressed.
However, there is hope in all of this. Like I said, the light shines bright within us. In me, my father, he will save us.
Who's your father, boy?
Of course. Do I not look like a Lysander?
Well, Sanders.
No.
Good family. Cannot say I've had the pleasure of meeting your father, but I've always heard well of him.
Of the garrison of fuck my asshole.
That is my favorite of all of the garrisons.
That's my favorite garrison.
of,
I've frequented there often.
of the Luster garrison, sworn to the light.
Yes. I've heard of it many times and always spoken fondly, but
Ekans?
Ekester.
Ekester.
A Kester. That was not Ekans.
I've not been there personally, but I've always heard people speaking well of your family and your place. It is
Yes.
good. It's good that some people are able to maintain hope.
If you hear anything from him, please let me know. I'm looking for him. He's supposed to be in the city.
Have you not spoken to him recently?
I haven't met him. But it's a long story.
One I would like to hear, perhaps in more private company. I look at you guys and I look over at the room with everybody here.
I also have questions for you. Are you a person of knowing the current state of things?
I've lived here.
Are you
I've been here for many years. Not in this city, but in Lumia.
there's a hierarchy of political figures?
Less so now. But yes, there is
Noble families.
noble families, but primarily ruled through Drexus's military force.
Can we get a private room?
If we can find one, I don't think that there are many private rooms here, but
We've have a lot of patients in the rooms.
what I might suggest, if you all are able, perhaps we camp outside. Less prying eyes.
Yeah. Yes, that works.
Should that be amenable?
I don't do the outside thing.
Pardon me?
I don't go outside.
Miss LaFontaine needs a bed with a certain sheet count or thread count.
3 sheets.
Minimum.
Well, I
Or we could merely take a walk.
agreed.
I
We
don't
don't.
walk.
We do not need to sleep outdoors. I just merely
This weird man wants us to sleep outside.
come sleep with me outside.
There,
Come on, we met 30 seconds ago
There is an inn.
Hi, Linus. How are you?
and missed
You're
all
like,
of
he's
you.
gonna slit our throats in our sleep.
All right.
Please
did
follow
you-
me.
Did you want to go just a little bit longer with you, or how's everyone feeling?
What do you mean, go?
Do I want to end here?
going?
I'm good to keep going.
Okay.
That's up to you guys.
No, I'm good. I didn't know what time y'all wanted to.
I'm playing Sims all night after I get home. So.
All right, let's keep it going then.
We could just wrap up this day.
Yeah.
And then
Okay. So,
Expo dump a little bit more.
Kashin, he sees you guys. You guys do your thing. I'm gonna go get some drinks, and he marches on over to the bar.
I'll meet you all at the door.
yeah, yes.
I'll walk over to the barkeep, who is very busy and stuff, and I won't like flag him down or
The mail?
anything. Yeah.
Okay.
But I will leave a gold piece on the counter for him. I'll slide it over.
He looks and he
Fancy.
just gives you a small, as he's like taking orders and wiping off stuff, just gives you a grin and thank you.
I think I'd take a moment to read Blaine's note.
Who's Blaine? David?
So, as everyone kind of steps outside, you sit at the table just a little bit longer. You unfold this damp letter. On the front of it, you see, "My dearest Jocelyn, I've been writing this letter more times than I can count, yet the words never seem enough. I left you with the promise to return, believing it would only be a short time apart, but Illumia changed, the roads home had vanished, and every attempt to reach you failed. Even so, not a day has passed that I haven't thought of you. Your laugh, your kindness, the way you made the world feel brighter. I've carried those memories with me through every storm, every sleepless night. I don't know if this letter will find you, or if your heart has moved on, but if there's even a part of you that still remembers me, please let me know. If not, I understand. You deserve happiness even if it's without me. As long as you're safe, that's enough for me. I just need you to know one thing. I never forgot about you. Forever yours, Blaine."
Is there like an address on it or something?
No.
And you didn't save him.
His face was ripped off. What did he want me to do?
Yeah, you can't kiss a faceless person.
It's better for her that he died then.
Damn, that was your husband?
Dang.
Oh.
No, she just stole that note from somebody.
It was on a dead body.
She looted it.
So you
Fold it up
guys,
gently.
you guys step outside. When you guys had arrived, it was cusping evening, so it's getting a little darker as Eritune starts to rise in the sky. You guys head inland just a little bit, kind of away from the docks and the
Yeah, just outside of town.
Yes.
This is just a general lore question.
Mm-hmm.
Are Drexus's forces like opposed to the Leicester garrison? Like they would want to snuff them out because of their association? Okay, so I wouldn't have like garb on that like.
Probably
Okay,
not.
gotcha.
Hey, it's me. Come
Yeah,
get me.
right. When I would have told you about the Leicester garrison, I would have been more quiet.
Yeah.
You do realize that, like, I mean, especially and
Yeah.
with you traveling, like, you don't see them necessarily as much. They're
And
kind of
nobody's for them, so nobody's like
Yeah.
listening for them.
It's more or less like they're here to remind you that they're here. So it's right when you think that you're safe, right when you think that things are back to normal, they come back out just to show you
I
that.
also think that our characters may have different opinions.
Yep.
So, yeah, you guys head a little bit out of town. There's a little hill that crests over otherwise fairly flat area, where you can kind of look out and see the city. You can see a little bit of the wreckage. You see that people have made like a little campfire over there, and it seems to be burning some of the bodies. And
Stinky.
yeah, it already smells like fish anyway. So yeah,
But
you guys make it to the top of this hill.
Yeah.
There's a nice weeping willow that kind of sits out with its vines blowing in the wind.
I can't deal with all this crying.
I have not been here since Jawwick's rule. I always liked this point of the city.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you here?
Finding my way in the world.
Me too.
I just merely happened to be in insert city name when I
Fenrir.
heard
Hafren?
Hafren. Just merely happened to be in Hafren when the ship arrived. I was traveling with a few merchants, earning what coin I can these days.
Understood.
Tell me, you speak openly about your lineage. Are you not concerned?
No, I am. But
Scratch that earlier.
I. Good folk. I mean, they're not from around here, so.
No.
I figured it's important for them to know the situation, right?
Of course.
Are your people persecuted?
No, I mean, it's just anybody who openly supports Jarwick, right? It's
Enemies of the state.
right.
Not exactly
However,
ones who could be swept away.
it's generally accepted. I mean,
There was King Drexus. He assassinated Jawick?
Yes.
he will never say yes to that, but of course, he did.
Our good king was assassinated. A trap laid for him.
Were there any others killed in this attack?
Many.
Many?
Thousands. Tens of thousands, if not. Many people across Illumia suffered in these initial attacks.
Many of my people. So,
Is there any word of an Eladrin queen?
Queen? No.
I'm unfamiliar. No.
I must admit, my knowledge of the most recent years might be a bit fuzzy, but I have not heard of an Eladrin queen
Or a
here.
liaison from Renora?
No.
Okay.
To be honest, outsiders, as I'm sure you've gathered, very rare. We do not receive them. That's why I look at the acorn coffee. We've had to resort to other things.
But you did come at a good time. We have got to find my father. He's going to bring the light back to Illumia. I'm going to help him.
I hope so, son.
Your father is going to bring peace.
The
He's
light
going
back
to
to Illumia. Yes.
fight. He's going to fight Drexus.
And he's missing.
Not necessarily missing. I
Have never met him.
correct, but he's also never met me. So
And you know where he is.
here, yes, I actually have this letter. And there literally is a letter, and he like shows you, and it's like, see, it was written by him, and it says he's going to be here. I don't know when this letter was from, but I do know he's either here or he's not here. I don't.
It's usually how location works.
Do not. It is good to see hope in your eyes, and I would not want to douse it. But we must be optimistically cautious in days like this. We don't know, especially given your lineage, if maybe somebody was trying to lure you out to take you to draw him out.
I mean, anybody who draws him out, I mean, they're in trouble. He's a legendary hero.
I know he is. We'll find him. I will help you find him.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Is this city big?
Hafren is a pretty
look clear.
medium-sized port
Big,
size.
biggest city I've been to?
No.
Oh, okay.
You've been to bigger. This one, it's very odd. A lot of the buildings, like, it looks like a huge city, only about 15 feet from the ocean. There's like a whole bunch of like giant buildings, like apartments, inns, that type of stuff, right on the front of the water, because it was where people used to travel. They didn't really come for the town; they came for the port. So basically, once you get past that first lot of bigger buildings in the market, it's just
falls off.
shacks and whatnot. It holds like about 400, 500 people live here.
Oh, wow. That's very small.
Yeah.
Very, very small.
Johannes, do you believe in fate?
I do. Destiny. It's my destiny to be here, to meet my father.
I
and to help him bring the light back to Illumia.
I do not think it is happenstance that we would meet on a day in the manner in which we did. You see, I'm going to kind of stand up, take a knee, flick my hand, and you'll see 4 glowing lights begin to dance around
Might be his dad.
the 4 of us. You'll see, I'll reach behind my back, but there isn't a blade there. But as I begin to grasp around, a blade begins to form. You see this great sword. As my shoulder kind of cocks back, the cloak, you see I don't have a right arm, just at the elbow. You see a mage hand appears to grasp the blade. From this day on, so long as your pursuits be honorable and noble, I will pledge myself in the search and aid of your father. Until such time, we'll protect you and will help you. I do this not for you, but because I believe the light that you speak of is important for Illumia.
For the light of Illumia.
I don't know what we stepped into.
That's
You guys too, right? Do you want to? I'm just kidding. I stand up.
Where's your
And,
vacation?
well,
Oh, my back.
I'll
I don't know if I can do
the-
rescuing.
you see the blade disappears and the cloak kind of comes forward again. I think one thing that you may have noticed, if I may, roll perception check.
You don't get to request those. You're not the DM.
Nope.
That's
Please
why
do,
I
please
asked.
do.
That's why I asked.
21.
You
Beautiful.
see a small faded on the interior of the cloak, a symbol of a crest, actually, crest of the golden dove.
Of the Golden Dove. That. You must have been a fighter for Jarwick.
I was.
And he reaches out of his pack and he takes a crest of the Golden Dove on this beaten looking pauldron.
Where did you get this?
I met a man in the forest. He treated me kindly. I
What was his name?
don't remember.
He never said.
He was an old man, maybe your age.
He was
Older?
No, he was about, because if he's an elf,
I'm gonna go back to
he looks a little younger than he was, but that makes sense because he was a dwarf, so he ages quicker.
Differently.
I asked him if he fought for Jarwick. He didn't seem to remember much. He gave me a stew in the woods.
He directly asked when you asked his name. He said, "I don't remember. People haven't." He said, "I don't remember. People haven't really been saying it much, so I just seem to have forgotten."
Describe him.
Old dwarf.
Old dwarf, extremely long, knotted beard, moppy head.
Old.
Oh, Jeffrey.
It's a 17 history. Does this description sound familiar?
I mean, you've fought with dwarves before.
Not this particular one.
You're thinking. I mean, you're like, well,
It could be a lot of
40
yeah.
them.
it
yeah.
could
Well,
be-
it's
they all
also,
look alike.
It's also that, but it's also the fact that like obviously time has not been so great to this man. Where
Yeah.
you're like, I can't think of anyone with
Sure.
a disgusting beard and gross hair because he didn't really have anything that really
Of course.
you weren't able to pick up too much because it was dark. He was illuminated by firelight the entire time. So
I'm sorry I couldn't get his name, but he was a kind
Sorry.
man. Kind, good man. I assume he used to fight, but he's a little bit senile now, so.
Fortunately, it's happened to many of us.
I'm sorry, all.
I mean, do I have to say more?
Sea monster.
It's a sea monster! Beep, boop, beep, boop.
It was rude of me to not introduce my friend, and he'll whistle. And to his side, little tiny puppy. this big,
A wolf!
a red
Do
wolf,
it.
a red wolf puppy. Well, he comes up and he's got just a little white spot on his head, like a little flame.
A lightning bolt.
What's his name?
Almost, huh? This is Soul.
Harry.
Soul?
I met him on my journey over here. He's been very good to me as well.
yeah, he
hold my-
nuzzles his head into you and just immediately starts not purring because that's a cat thing, but like when
He
like
purrs.
puppies like kind of you kind of make those little not whimpers but just happy sounds.
Yeah,
I'll hold my hand out for Soul to sniff.
Like Kunai does when he's really excited.
he's a really good reader of people.
he sniffs in your.
He's good at reading people. He gives me a +2 bonus on insight.
It's
He-
amazing.
You stick your hand out and he sniffs it and then he immediately just starts licking your palm.
It's good people. If you don't mind,
This is how I check.
You don't take the dog over.
I'm allergic to dogs.
Oh, okay. Does the dog like start growling at her?
No, he just like he looks at her like, you know how like a dog like cocks its head. It looks at her like as she's talking, and it's like really just cocking its head. He doesn't look mad or anything. He's just like genuinely like
He's unsure.
intrigued. He's just like, what are you
Probably
saying?
Because you're not from here. I've done it to two of you. I have to do it to the rest of you. I'm sorry. Does the dog do
Like a gun.
Does the dog do
Don't make me
No, the dog. I mean, if
adjust
if
the
they,
sight. Adjust the sight.
if they allow,
The
then
insight gun.
if they allow, then the dog will, it'll lick her face. It'll sniff you, and it'll just immediately start like chewing at your hair.
Just like kunai.
Is this a
Yeah.
good sign or a bad sign?
It seems like it's trying to groom you.
I could
These are stinky.
I could trust you folk according to
I
Soul.
haven't showered
Friends.
in over a decade.
Friends, I must
That
say,
explains some things.
I only smell fish here anyway. But what I must say, friends, is that I don't think it was happenstance that you were here either. All of us seem to be looking for something. A father, a mother, a colleague, vacation.
It's all I've ever wanted.
I don't.
It might suit
I'm
us.
sorry your vacation is going this way.
You
Yes,
could even
you
say
really picked a bad time.
yourself.
You really picked a bad time to come to Illumia. 100 years ago, it was much nicer.
Oh, amazing.
No, it's a good time. It's a hopeful time. We're bringing the light back.
No, this
you
is
get to
an
watch it
era
happen.
of lost hope.
No, this puppy's soul, he represents the light. As he grows, he will see a free Illumia again.
How long does it take?
Starts coughing immediately.
The dog dies in my arms. It's an era of lost hope.
It just goes.
And then on the screen, era of lost hope.
And that's
And then
it.
that's how
Session
we are in
one.
session one.
Dead puppy dog.
It might suit all of us well to travel together is my only point. I'm not sure what it is exactly you may be looking for, but you're welcome to join.
Well, I think Miss LaFontaine will join us as long as we don't have to sleep outside.
Yeah. I don't do the outside thing very well.
You see, like Liz wipes a tear from her eye. I don't know if I can find what I came here looking for, but if I can help you find your father, that's good.
He can help us. He can help you find who you're looking for, too. He's a great man.
He knows where Lamprose is.
Certainly. Almost certainly so, yes. He's a man of great wisdom and
We have to
knowledge.
find him.
I am a very...
How do you know that if you've never met him?
I've read so much about him. And also,
fair?
I've lived with the garrison of the Luster garrison for the last 3 or 4 years. He's been with the Luster garrison for hundreds of years now. So I know all of his colleagues. I know even people who have helped train and raise him.
Is your father Elvin?
He is, yes.
Ah.
As am I. You can tell. He's got like
About
he's
half.
got like rough like
Yes. yes,
Majority-
I see
majority
it.
of-
I see it.
majority.
Majority elf, not half.
I've seen many pictures of my father, renditions, of course. But many of the people at the garrison say our characteristics are very similar.
You do resemble him.
Yeah, right.
I have not met him personally, but from what I've seen and heard,
That's what Ren said too.
Then
He was from the garrison.
everything I know of his father, he speaks the truth.
I think he's the next hope for Illumia. As will I be. I will be instrumental in helping.
yes.
I've trained my whole life for this. I haven't met him because he's been on a journey for so long, re-establishing the light of Illumia. So that's why I don't know who exactly. I haven't met him, but I know exactly who he is and what he stands for, and I know
How old are you?
I'm 18 years of age. I left home at 13.
Oh, what a baby. So young.
I've been with the garrison since.
So much life.
We get ahead of ourselves. Tonight, let us be happy that our friends from across the sea are here. Let us rest. Let us find some place of comfort.
I'm
We
going
can
to.
ask if the inn has an available room. Maybe we can bunk. We
I've-
were used to close quarters.
I know of a few places where we could find rest.
I'll be staying at the Sandmen tonight just because I need to go change some of the bedpans of the others and help out.
Of course.
Report back to Dale.
He says bedpans, and she just kind of like blinks, like he's just doing that.
I
You're just a good person.
I live with a lot of elderly people at the garrison. I'm used to it.
The garrison is made up of elderly folk.
Many
Not always.
many elves who have been long standing. Not all of them, no. It's just many of them are older.
I'm gonna like traveling with him.
Elderly elves, I mean, I'm only 19, but we can live centuries.
19 years of age. You
Yes.
look much older.
I'm
sorry.
No.
Not what I meant.
I would say
Dishonorable service.
No, you look mature for your age, is what I'm saying.
It might be an Eladrin thing.
Okay.
Well, I think you look like a baby.
But I often
baby.
get talked to as a child at home, so this is my first voyage. So
Same with me. I've been traveling for 64 days. It's the first time I've been in a city since.
Where have you traveled from?
From the
The
garrison, on foot, in the forest.
On foot,
Yes.
by yourself.
it's a good
Yes.
thing you found
Well,
a companion.
No, I met Sol on the way, about 32 days in.
Well, I must say, I'm surprised that you were able to make it so far by yourself.
Oh, you shouldn't be. I've got
So, you
a lot of experience.
said you left when you were 13.
No, I mean from the 60 days.
Oh.
The first 10 days were awful, obviously, but the 12th day got a little bit better, and then the 23rd day was really a bad one. 24th day was okay.
Tell me all about it when we get back to the inn.
I don't think I want to relive it. I'm going to be honest.
Then let's not. We'll leave it there.
Trust me, I have plenty of stories.
He'll tell you all about
It
it.
does.
I would be happy to discuss what's changed since the time you've been here.
So as you guys
Somebody wants to talk to me.
head back
Listen
to
to every story.
as you guys head back to Hafren, the smell of unfortunately the burning bodies really is becoming a little bit more pungent.
Reminds me of Mom's cooking.
You see that a lot of the town has kind of, in a sense, snapped to reality of, oh, there goes gravity. No, but
We'll start floating.
they kind of snapped to like the reality of like, okay, we're not savages. These people did like lose their lives. So a lot of the people,
Yeah, they realized that once all the fucking loot was gone.
Yeah.
They're like, shit, I guess
Yeah.
Guys, they don't have anything. They're people too.
yeah. So you guys head
Not
back to
just on
the
coffee beans.
Sandman sleep, and a lot of the bottom has been converted to bed rests for a lot of the not extremely injured people, but like the kind of
The
intermediate.
dire straits, yeah.
There's about 7 or 8 people laying on stretchers there. They said that checking in, Meridel did tell you that. Yeah, the Monroe. I sent him to the temple. He's not looking too great, but the rest of the people here should be fine. If you want to switch out their bedpans or get them water.
This is where I part you, friend.
No worries. Mind if I have a quick question before we part ways for tonight?
Of course.
In the city, you are in charge of the city, right? Or...
No one rules Hafren, but I am the person that a lot of people look up to.
Do you know? Have you seen Ekister Lysander?
Lysander.
He's a
Elven gentleman, yeah?
yes, a man of the Luster Garrison.
The knight. He passed through here. That was a while ago, my boy.
I figured as such, because if there was such an emergency, we would have seen him helping. Do you know happen to know what he was doing, or why he was here, or where he went? Even?
From what I remember, this was a year back or so. From what I remember, he was working with the Rhodes clerics, trying to tell them about the light. He was preaching his way here. We were having some issues up the road with some bandits, and he cleared that out pretty quickly, so that was pretty nice of him. But he said he was on his way to Pompter's Stone. But yet again, it's a while ago. He could have easily moved on.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You do kind of look like him.
Thank you. I've had that before.
Yeah. Switch out some bedpans and get some rest, kid.
Get the
back to
shit out.
Piss and shit.
He,
Once we find this kid's dead, it should sound like smooth sailing. I mean, he's in the city. It shouldn't take no time at all to find him.
Yeah.
Things,
It's a small city.
things rarely go so easily in Lumia these
I
days.
mean, the way he was talking, I mean, he got the letter. His dad should be just easy.
The optimism of youth, I'm afraid.
So you guys were able to, when you walked in, Genrold, the gentleman, spectacles, the guy who kind of noticed you, he lives here, and he was like, listen, you guys take our bunk, take our room. Me and my wife we'll be down here almost all night. Please get some good sleep.
I could not, please.
I will.
I can't.
I would.
Gladly, please take it.
Yep, no
You
problem.
guys need some rest
I will. Be
Are we
fine.
all snuggling in the same bed?
if you want to. He looks at you and
How
like
many beds are there?
they have a big king bed, but other than that,
I appreciate it, but I am.
hey, we'll be up all night. We got coffee, and he like kind of haphazardly.
So
like,
you stole the beans.
well, someone brought him in, so he shakes
Yeah.
him. He's just like,
I feel like I've been in a shipwreck.
we'll be up all night. Just
Quite
please.
all right. I'll stay and watch some myself.
That
Thank you.
works. Of course. You guys have a long day ahead of you. I mean,
I find that same little corner booth that I had led them to and had originally gone into, and I think it has a good view of everything in the tavern, and I think I just go into a trance
Yep.
there.
you
I
sit
also
there.
take a long rest, which is only 4 hours.
Oh yeah, I think we all take a 4-hour nap.
Yep. So all of you,
So sick.
are you all sleeping in the bed?
Yeah.
How many? So
It's a king size.
Not
Is there a
me.
couch?
In that room, no.
I hop in.
I'm
It'll
old.
be
I
just
got a
like
bad back.
when me and my sister we used to share a bed.
Johannes deploys his bedroll in the stable.
I make sure that like the windows are locked, that the door's locked. Do like all my closing duties, make sure that everything's fine.
Wonderful.
Nobody's gonna come in and get me.
What if the homeowners need to come in?
They probably have a key.
Oh, good boy.
After I hopped in the bed, I realized it would just be Nico and Liz, and I'm like,
Woo-wee.
that's improper.
I'm too old for you, and I turn around.
I think she looks torn between like, and she ends up sliding out of the bed and making a nest on the floor and giving him the bed.
I had
I
a
take
hope.
the blanket from him, and I also make him nest on the floor.
That's crazy.
I was fully expecting a Master Roshi kind of scene.
Wonderful. So
The way I smell, they're probably right call to lay on the bed, on the floor. I ain't showered in a while.
Oh, you did get a nice impromptu bath in the
Seawater.
sea.
No, he said I slammed straight from boat to beach.
yeah, he got a
Well, then
sand
you're
bath.
good.
Yeah.
You're good and stanky.
All right. So with that, you find your way into the stables and find a nice little bit of hay and lay down your bedroll.
At least I don't
Soul-
smell like
Soul crawls on top of me.
Soul snuggles up on top of you.
Horse
You-
stupid dog.
Yep.
You sit down in your
It's
booth
gotten
and
painted.
watch as the night kind of progresses. You see the husband and wife go tend to the sick, or not the sick, but the injured, as you kind of start to trance. Nico, you sleep like a... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, if I might add one thing, I think
Yes.
that as Tundering goes to enter into a trance and stuff, he instinctively puts one foot on the booth table so that if he needs to like wake up abruptly, he can kick it over to have cover.
Yep.
And there's like a lot of these just instinctual, like second muscle
Yep.
kind of things as he's.
Oh, he got trauma. Okay.
Nico, you sleep
PTSD
great.
-zel.
This might be the first time you've slept in a bed in 10 years.
Yeah.
Even with them ripping the blankets away from you, you're just like,
I don't even notice.
Where you probably just sleep at your fucking lab all night.
I have
don't
my
you?
desk.
I'm in a
Yeah,
I'm in a cloud.
Chomsky 2.0.
Yeah, that's Gramps. That's we literally
That
found
is
Gramps.
Gramps.
Lith and Miss
List.
La Fontaine.
LaFontaine.
It's Mrs.
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 LaFontaine.
Mrs. LaFontaine.
Until
A
the guy's
Mrs.
face got crushed off in a shipwreck, Rip.
It's not my husband.
Blaine.
Not her husband.
Not with that attitude, it's not.
True.
You guys, it's a little hard, but you doze off into sleep as well. Needing some well-deserved sleep after the day that you've been... What's that? We'll end it.
0.5s are 0.5 done.
Point
I'm
five.
gonna call that a 0.75.
0.75.
That's
I think
0.75.
that was a 0.5 into a first session.
Yeah.
1.5.
There's a point.
0.5 into like a half of a
Point,
first session.
point
so yeah,
seven,
I like
point
0.75.
0.75.
I like 0.75.
0.75.
Well,
We're here for
everybody,
Bye.
thank you.
Very excited.
Into the next
this
episode.
this Tuesday.
Yeah, Azarus is
This Tuesday, Azarus.
Okay?
This Wednesday, one shot. You won't see these characters again till the first month of February, but you'll get back-to-back dose.
Yeah,
of them.
let's
Boom.
what's the date? Hold on.
Hold on. February 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
No, so I think the 4th and the 5th will be.
Yeah.
So, if you're invested, check out February 4th and 5th on Gelatinous _Noobs.
Check it out.
4th and 5th.
For the
All right,
era of
everybody.
Lost hope.
Bye.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Bye.